with the Cincinnati Bengals. Two weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a man closing in on 15,000 career rush yards. Frank Gore, 5 yards on the game's first play. 2nd down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Allen going to throw. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo first down.
That's good for the Bills. First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Play 19, 56. You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby.
On first down, it's Gore. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gore. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
Brings up 3rd and 2.
57 to Mike. All day, punk.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. And that's caught by Beasley. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
Hey, Charlie.
On play action, Allen into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You got to let that happen, guys. Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 7, Dalton looking for Green, and it's intercepted. A.J. Boye intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Accelerating, and off he goes. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Short throw picks, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Bullock good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. 19-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 19-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor. But thank you, Dr. Davis. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Brown signed with the Bills in March. Last year he was in Baltimore, 4 seasons in Arizona prior to that, but they're hoping that Brown can add a lot of speed to this offense, which he should. Last year in Baltimore, 715 yards and 5 touchdowns. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Anthony Zettel popping in for the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Hey, Delta.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. And he finds Beasley complete. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. From the gun, it's Allen. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And his field at the 50-yard line.
At the 50-yard line.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. On 2nd and 11 now. Dalton. And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Round 80! Mike 59! I got you. That's him. Showing it. Showing it. Hey, zoom.
So after the INT, it's Allen. And he finds Tyler Croft. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field.
Throwing on first down is Allen. Going for it all. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Read it well, and it's picked. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they've got themselves a 7-0 lead here, but that, you recall, was a defensive touchdown, so still nothing as of yet for this offense.
Well, they're happy to have the lead. We got to cut them a little bit of slack. It's still early enough, just a couple of drives so far, but if this one goes nowhere, those adjustments that we talk about, they shouldn't wait for halftime. They should go ahead and start working on them right now.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Here's Dalton. Airing one out for Boyd. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, the one to bring him down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop them here on 3rd down.
6 guys. Check 6 guys. Kill.
Operating from the gun. Allen eluding the pressure right. And this one caught by Beasley. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Allen under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Jordan Evans leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long.
57 for Mike. 52. Hey, Orbit. It's our time. 57 for the go.
On 3rd and long, it's Allen. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Bengals drive about to get going. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
First down, Cincinnati.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Meanwhile, here a run on first down really backfires as he's going to be brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. That really sets him back, a loss of 6. Now on 2nd and 16, Dalton, and they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 42.
A gain of 19 yards.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Dalton on the draw to Mixon. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Dalton now to pass. He gets this one to Boyd. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 12-yard line. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
Number 53, Mike 53. On the Mike 53. 53.
1st and 10 for Dalton. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Regular. Check. 59.
Here's Allen following the fumble recovery. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Geno Atkins got home that time. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Hey, tight. Four down. Check three. Pass. Smooth.
Allen now looks to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Right there on the coverage was the safety, Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates on the coverage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Slam. All 52. Get it. Hey, check Mike 57. Watch the pass.
A final shot before half for Allen. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit.
They've got his man complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. It's nearly a 40-yard gain on the opening play of the quarter. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big gain.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. And now the throw hauled in by Green. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
First down, Bengals.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over, but he ended up finding another receiver.
Mixon with a first down carry. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. get the first down and more inside the 20. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On second down, here's Mixon. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Jerry Hughes able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Bullock's kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Mike 56. Hey, echo. 56. All day, every day, any day.
Allen from the gun, he'll throw. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first.
Let's go!
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Pound 80! 56. Check 56. It's a party now. Pass 85. Pass 85. 56. Mike 56. Right there. Right there. Hey, Alpha. Watch this.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And this will be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll get their receiver involved here. It's Brown. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On first down, Allen. And now here is another interception. William Jackson with a pick. 30, 10, 5, and he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point up and good by Bullock. And that makes our score 17-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now Allen to try again after the pick six. It's hauled in by Lee Smith. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 25 yards there on the catch and run. Allen now 8 of 17 so far, so under 50%, but he's got a 1st and 10. To the air, Allen. And my goodness, another interception. William Jackson with a pick, and he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Ed Oliver in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to have to put a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
The throw right sideline here is complete, and that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the fourth quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Mike, check, 59. Know your job.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Complete. Smith has it. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Operating from the red zone now. Allen. That's caught by Brown for a Bills touchdown. John Brown, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bills cut into that lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Stephen Hauschka for the point after. And it's 17-7. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. This will be taken short. And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. The Bengals on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw here, Dalton. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Lorenzo Alexander wreaking the defensive havoc. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. White now to return. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing again on second down. Allen. This will be caught by Brown. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So first and 10 now from the 30.
You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Monday. Hey, high 7.
Back to throw. Allen. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10.
I got you, punk. 57's the mic. Watch 57. I got one. 57.
56.
To throw is Allen. His throw incomplete. Cole Beasley the intended target, and it's third down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
Hey, Foxtrot.
Allen going to go on fourth down. Got him in. It's Brown. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
Mike.
Brown 80.
59. Drop deep.
Hey, tight. Bravo.
Allen to throw. And this is incomplete. The Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick, there on the coverage. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
To throw, it's Allen. toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Who's that? Who's that? Is that yours? Is that yours? Who's that?
Done. Hey, Haywood.
Allen will look to throw for it on 4th. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals will get the football back. Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. An ideal down and distance to try to finish this thing off. 2nd and inches. So a designed run last play. Now Dalton to pass. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Bengals, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they will fall to a similar mark at 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.